Hi, this is Jason Bowman, and I wanted to take a few minutes to discuss with you the division of the Internal Revenue Service called the Taxpayer Advocate Service. The Taxpayer Advocate is a division of the IRS that is separate and apart from the normal channels that are used to resolve tax matters. The Taxpayer Advocate Service, it's not part of any other subpart of the IRS. It's actually kind of a standalone department that reports directly to Congress. So it's a wonderful avenue for requesting help when things aren't going the way they should be in normal IRS channels. So I wanted to give you a quick tour through the Taxpayer Advocate Service and show you how to find your local taxpayer advocate and how to file a request for assistance. To get to the page that I'm looking at right now, you can go to irs.gov/advocate, or you could just do a simple search on Google for IRS Taxpayer Advocate Service, and it'll bring you right to this page here. This is the homepage for this independent organization within the IRS. And one of the things that you're going to want to read here is this section about having a tax problem, need help. This will give you some brief information about the program, tell you a little bit about the head of the program, Nina Olson. If we go back to the home page, you'll see here another link that says Contact the Taxpayer Advocate Service. We're going to click on that because this is kind of the page where all the request for assistance actually starts. And if you are in the lower 48, Alaska or Hawaii, you can click here to view all the local taxpayer advocate offices by state. And if you click on any of these links, the green state abbreviations, it'll actually take you to the specific page for the taxpayer advocate for that state. So you see here in Montana, it's located in Helena. Here's the street address, phone number, fax number. You can call, on every page you'll have the number to call for the National Taxpayer Advocate Service. And you'll see that all these pages look pretty much the same. Let's take a look here at Missouri. And they're located in St. Louis. Some states will actually have multiple offices. For example, I know that Ohio does. They have an office in both of the largest cities in Ohio. And if you look at some of the more populous states as well, you'll see that they have even more offices. So, LA, Oakland, Sacramento, San Jose, Laguna Niguel, they all have offices for the taxpayer advocate. So if you are experiencing a problem with getting issues resolved through normal IRS channels, you can request assistance in having that issue resolved through the taxpayer advocate. And you're going to do that, you're going to request assistance using a Form 911. So named, obviously, because you dial 911 for emergency services, so they kind of use that moniker to carry over to the form number. And when you fill out this form, you're either going to mail it or fax it to one of these local offices. You're not going to send it to the national office. You're actually going to send it to the local office that services your area, which is usually just going to be the office closest to you in your state. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this page. If you are a taxpayer in Guam, Samoa, or the Northern Mariana Islands, it's going to be a similar thing. You're going to contact the Pacific Taxpayer Advocate, which happens to be in Honolulu. And if you're in the Caribbean territories, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, etc., you're going to contact the office in Puerto Rico itself. So if you are ready to file your request for Taxpayer Advocate Service Assistance, we want to look at this Form 911. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to download that form and open it. It's available right here off the internet. You can probably also get it in a local IRS office, which the IRS has field offices literally all over the place. So what we're actually going to do is, let me zoom this in a little bit so you can see this. We're actually going to kind of walk through the form real quick. This form is a field fillable form, which means that you can actually type stuff in directly. And this is a PDF, so you can open it in any program that will read PDFs. For most of you, that's probably going to be Adobe Acrobat Reader, which is available free from adobe.com. So what we're going to do here is enter your name, your social, your spouses if applicable, your address, zip code, fax number if you have one. The Taxpayer Advocate, they can and will communicate with you via email. So if you have an email address, put that in there. If you own a business, then you're going to put your employer identification number in this field right here. They want to know what specific tax forms that you're contacting them about. For a lot of you, that'll be either 1040s, maybe if you have a corporation, your 1120s, or your employment tax returns 941. For tax period, you're always going to use the date that the tax period ends. So if we're talking about a 1040, that's going to be the last day of the year. And the person to contact is going to be yourself. Put your phone number in here and best time to call. If you need an interpreter, if you need special language assistance, fill this in. The IRS does have interpreters of numerous languages that they can provide for you. If you need to use a device for the deaf, then you can check that box. Describe the tax problem that you are experiencing. And whatever it is, you just put a written description of what's going on in here. And just make it simple, because the Taxpayer Advocate service will contact you for additional details if they need. But make this simple, but as much information as you need to. If you need to expand on what you're saying, you can attach additional sheets of paper. And this is a common one. IRS appeals has failed to schedule an appeals hearing, and then they want to know exactly what it is that you want them to do to help you. I would like to preserve my rights as a taxpayer and have my scheduled hearing. So then when you print this out, you're going to sign right here. If you're doing this for a business, sign it as an officer of your entity, sign and date. If you have a representative, for example, if you have retained the services of a firm such as ours, or your CPA or attorney is helping you out, you're going to attach a copy of the power of attorney, and they will need to fill in all this information down here.